Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. American exceptionalism has triumphed over the North Koreans once more. I'm calling this meeting of the Livingston County Board of Commissioners to order. Today's date is November 25, 2024. Would you please bow your heads for a moment of prayer? O Lord, our Heavenly Father, be thou present, God of wisdom, and direct the deliberations of this honorable assembly of county commissioners. Enable us to settle matters on the best and surest foundation. May truth, liberty, and justice flourish and prevail here in all of Livingston County and all of our United States. Amen.
Amen.
Would you please rise to participate in our Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, could we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Helserman,
Here.
Commissioner Domas.
Here.
Commissioner Sample,
Here.
Commissioner Nakagiri,
Here.
Commissioner Drick,
Here.
Commissioner Deaton,
Here.
Commissioner Smith,
Here.
Commissioner Fiani,
Here.
Commissioner Gross.
Here.
Quorum is present.
Thank you. Gentlemen, there's a revised meeting agenda dated November 25th, 2024. May I get a motion to approve the revised meeting agenda?
So move, Gross.
Support, Domas. Moved by Commissioner Gross, support by Commissioner Domas. All those in favor of approving the revised meeting agenda, kindly say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, the vote is 9-0. We have a approved revised agenda. On to item number 6 on the agenda. It's the employee recognitions. Who might be going first?
Stacy?
Stacy, come on forward, please.
Yeah, stand next to me. So it's always an honor to be a participant in these employee recognition, and it's my honor to share with you Stacy Bono's story. So Stacy is a benefits specialist. She's been with the county for 7 years. The benefits specialist oversees the county's numerous benefit programs for all the county's active, retired, and former employees, and provides guidance regarding benefits, Family Medical Leave Act, Americans with Disabilities Act, retirement accounts, and much, much more. So Stacy was nominated and recognized by our Employee Recognition Committee. Stacy received a nomination for my county employee who found herself in need of Stacy's guidance. And here's a quote from her nomination, quote, "Taking care of employees is Stacy's job, but this time she deserves a high five. I have been dealing with a surprise breast cancer diagnosis since January of 2024. She has walked me through every step of the Family Medical Leave Act, short-term and long-term disability processes, as well as looked out for me with the long-term disability reps and has been proactive as to when things need to be taken to the next level. She has checked in with me and has been sympathetic to my cancer struggle day in and day out. She has outlined specifics, so my plan of action is clear, and she is always makes sure that I understand the process. Her caring heart would be a hard one to replace." This nomination resonated with every member of the Employee Recognition Committee because each had either experienced Stacy's caring heart personally or through another coworker, finding themselves in need of help and not quite knowing where to go or what to do. Often encouraging people during difficult times in their lives, Stacy always provides exceptional service due to her extensive knowledge, navigating the complex world of benefits and advocating for her employees with a genuine care that is hard to find. Her kindness is well known around the county, and you know that if you're working with Stacy, you are going to be well taken care of. I will turn it over to our HR Director, Jennifer Palmbush, for a few words.
You said a lot, and so much of it is true. As you said, Stacy works with employees and retirees every
Could
day.
you speak into the mic? I think people online can't hear.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you said, Stacy's our benefits specialist, and she works with our employees and retirees in some of the most joyful times, like the birth of a child, and some of the most difficult times, like this, an employee going through a breast cancer struggle and a death of a spouse, having to work with them through their life insurance claim. She always is kind and patient, and she gives each person the dignity and respect that they deserve as they go through those times. So we are just so proud to have you on the HR team, and thank you so much for all you do. You so deserve it.
Congratulations.
Why gotta get the big photo?
I get in the middle, I'm the smallest.
Come on over. Great, thank you. Thank you.
The next employee recognition would be Janet Slavin, who might be the presenter.
Good evening to everybody. Welcome to board meeting and presentations that we're going to have. It's my high honor tonight to take care of the employee recognition of Janet Slavin. Is that correct?
Slavin.
Slavin.
Yep.
Thank you. Janet has been employed by the Livingston County Health Department for 7 years now, working as a senior health clerk. In that role, she serves as the lead clerical worker, coordinating and directing the work of other clerical staff, providing leadership and guidance to ensure that the department runs efficiently and effectively. I'm sure Matt appreciates that. She's also responsible for assisting clients with enrollment and all other features of the department's many public health programs. Her nomination in the Employee Recognition Committee assessment was based upon a nomination by a co-worker who witnessed the following situation. We recently had a homeless young man staying in the health department vestibule during the day. Janet took it upon herself to help this man sign up for Medicaid, find a job, look for housing, and encourage him. She works with women and children every day and provides exceptional service, but she rolls out of the red carpet for anybody in need. She treated that young man as if he were her own son. He even told her that she has helped him more than his own family has helped him. She took the time to guide him when he was feeling unsure and didn't know what his next steps would be. She's a true asset to the community of Livingston County. The members of the Employee Recognition Committee unanimously selected this nomination as a winner. How could they not? All day long, Janet provides excellent service to members of the community who come to the health department seeking assistance. But here she is recognized as she recognized someone in need and went to him. She took that extra step that many of us just don't seem to do. She lifted this man out of a bad situation, providing him the practical tools he needed and the support and encouragement to keep going on his journey, more than his own family. What an incredible testament to Janet's great work and incredibly big heart. Department leadership is here to celebrate Janet and to say a few words. Director Bowling, please.
Congratulations, Janet.
Thanks, Matt.
So Janet is great. She's our problem solver in the department. She's worked in our Women, Infant, and Children program now for a number of years, and Hearing and Vision before that. If you ever want to know Janet's opinion, you don't have to ask her. She'll come right to your office and offer it. But she is great. She's our problem solver. She is helping our families in Livingston County that are struggling find the resources that they need. Her heart always goes out, even when she's having her own personal struggles. She's there for other people. So we really appreciate Janet. So
I
congratulations.
appreciate you here. Thank you. It's nice to see you guys. Hi, nice to see you. Thank you. Haven't seen you guys in a while. Hi, how are you? Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Our last employee recognition, Rod Seuss from the Drain Commissioner Department. Who's going to do the presentation? Commissioner Domas.
Could I have your superior officer step up for this? Sure. And can you okay?
Just speaking to the mic, so.
Or move the mic. How about that? Move the mic to me, come over my side. Come on up here. Ron was nominated by the Employee Recognition Committee with good cause. He has been employed by the Drain Commissioner's Office for 22 years, currently in the position of Drain Inspector and Dam Operator. As you might imagine, Ron is responsible for operating county-owned dams to maintain court-ordered lake levels, as well as overseeing the condition of and repair to dams. He also provides inspection services for public drainage systems, private, commercial, and residential construction projects, and the issuance of permits. Ron's nomination and the Employee Recognition Committee assessment includes the fact that Ron received 3 nominations from members of the public who were impressed by Ron's excellent customer service. In the interest of time, we can't read all 3 nominations in their entirety, but here are just a few snippets. Ron could just as easily have said, "Not my problem," but he went above and beyond and was great help to having homeowners and builders work together to find a solution. He is a credit to the Drain Commission and to Livingston County. Secondly, we have issues with our neighbors that can turn into lawsuits, and Ron helped us de-escalate the situation. He was informative, supportive, and understanding. I can't say enough kind words on his behalf and in his efforts. Finally, the outstanding service should be noted because this was my first encounter with a county employee after just moving to this area, and Mr. Seuss set a high bar. From his greeting to his departure, he was a good man and a good employee. The ERP noted several things about Ron's nominations. Ron can be tough. He is often in the position of bestowing unpleasant news. And yet we are presented with 3 instances where he turned that around, found solutions, and left happy citizens in his wake. And it does matter what role we serve here at the county. That is the goal, happy citizens. Ron has the magic mix of extensive on-the-job knowledge, professionalism, and courteousness that makes him an extraordinary employee and a standout choice for recognition. Congratulations, Ron. Thank you, sir. I'd like to introduce you to the guy that's going to tell us the real story.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right here. So as you mentioned, Rod's been with us for over 20 years, almost the extent of my tenure. And so there's an active pool, I understand, who's going to survive the longest here. And I'm at the long odds right now. So, but I want to mention with Rod's job, he's in a position of being on people's property all the time, and that can be really sensitive. And it's typically in an enforcement capacity, so that's not always fun. So we never have people really that call up and say, "Hey, I really appreciated that ticket that Rod wrote for me. You're like, he stopped me from ruining that stream down there. He did a great job." Or nobody ever calls and says, "Hey, I noticed that Rod was out at 3 a.m. in that storm trying to open the dam." We never get any of that because most people don't see it, or it's from an enforcement position. But I want to note that at least 2, if not 3 of the things that people wrote in really didn't have anything to do with his job. It's mostly counseling. Now, he may have been out there in his capacity, but it was about talking about water and flooding issues. And I think that is what really stands out. And not only with Rod, with my other staff, is they know one thing that I don't like to say is it's not my jurisdiction. So if we can give them some advice on how to mitigate a drainage issue or talk to their neighbor and get them working together, that's some of the most satisfying things that we can do. And so I think the testimony really says a lot about Rod going above and beyond what merely his job title says. So, thanks.
No. Yeah.
One that's really nice. We're gonna put you right in the middle, next to your head.
I want to get outside of the room of this.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks to the families with great support, eh? Look at that.
Commissioners, we're now on agenda item number 7, correspondence. Is there any correspondence? There was none attached to the packet. We'll move on to number 8 on the revised meeting agenda, which is call to the public. Any person that would like to give 3 minutes worth of wisdom to the commissioners is perfectly allowed to if you've submitted a card to our clerk.
Sharon, I know you have a handout, but I don't have a card. Would you like to go ahead and speak and just give your name and jurisdiction? And you can give me the card when you're done, okay? Thank you.
So good evening, commissioners. My name is Sharon Lolio, and I live at 2650 Fisher Road in Howell Township. I'd like to tell you about last week's Township Planning Commission meeting. There has been some discussion on allowing ADUs, or some people like to refer to them as tiny houses, on single-family zoned parcels pertaining to the need to provide care for elderly parents or college-age children who can't afford to move away from home. The discussion has been focused on allowing these units to be detached. Last month, some of the planning commissioners seemed to be in support of that, with the understanding that these would be rented to family members. With this in mind, at last week's meeting, the planning consultant provided language that could allow detached ADUs, but in doing so, removing the word attached to detached allowed these units to become rentals, with no mention of the stipulation that these are for family members only. The letter I've provided for you is the one I presented to the Planning Commission, listing my rental experience and my concerns. From that letter, I'd like to point out problem renters, whether it be non-payment of rent, noise, animals, or the condition of the unit inside and out, it is not going to be the problem of local law enforcement. Any problems will have to be addressed in civil court, and that takes a long time. Who is moving next door without it really being my neighbor? How is a tenant or tenants going to be vetted? How are these units going to be taxed? Are they homestead or are they rental units? How are single-family zoned parcels now able to become multifamily? Who authorizes this after many owners purchase homes with the understanding of what and who their neighbors really are? After a bit of public pushback and a few planning commission members questioning how it went from taking care of elderly parents to granting neighbors the ability to become instant landlords, the planning consultant stated that allowing these rental units, not specific to family members and their needs, was recommended by the County Planning Commission. It was recommended to help address the shortage of affordable housing. So my question to you, our county commissioners, is, are you aware of this push to create second backyard neighborhoods on single-family zoned parcels? That local government is trying to address the problem of unaffordable housing by covert methods is not only disturbing, it could prove dangerous. Unintended consequences could impact the values of homes and the safety of those subjected to these type of ADU issues. I hope there will be some discussion between you and the County Planning Commission regarding this matter. I will continue to monitor what is happening at the township level and alerting my Livingston County friends and family members about the possibility of next door backyard rental units popping up without their knowledge or their approval. Thank you for your time and consideration in this matter.
I have no cards.
Thank you. Krista, is there anyone on Zoom that you could recognize with their hand up?
No, sir, there's not. There are no hands.
With that, I will close the call to the public with the notion that there's a second one at the end of tonight's agenda. We're on to revised meeting agenda item number 9. It's entitled Approval of Minutes. 9A reads meeting minutes dated October 28, 2024. 9B, minutes dated November 12th, 2024, and special meeting minutes dated November 19th, 2024, plus closed session minutes of October 28, 2024. Can I get a 4-point motion to approve all 4?
Motion to approve meeting minutes 9A, B, C, and D.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Support Deaton.
Thank you. Motion by Sample, support by Deaton to approve all 4 sets of minutes. Additions, corrections, or deletions? Seeing none. Voice vote. All those in favor kindly say aye.
Aye.
9-0, that passes. We're on to item number 10, which is entitled Tabled Items from Previous Meetings. I have none. Does any commissioner have any to bring up? Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 11, which is reports. Are there any commissioners that have a report? Commissioner Helserman,
I have a report here.
please proceed.
If I could. This is a recognition for Caleb Raymond, if you'd come forward. And Caleb was involved in the primary election. He lives on Grant Road in my area. And I went by his house, and his house is a veritable garden of political signs. And one of them was my opponent's sign. And I'm here congratulating him on his and his family's work in getting out the vote and getting people registered. And from what I understand, Caleb was the one that came up with this idea, and he called Christina Light, and Christina Light helped him with that. And I just wanted to thank a young man that is getting involved in the political system. And on behalf of our whole board, we appreciate you and honor you for your outstanding performance and dedication to keeping Livingston County a great place to live. And so just want to give this to you, and I don't know if you want to say a few words. I don't know if anybody else wants to say a few words on his behalf that knows more of the situation, but we just want to thank you. And has everybody got their pictures that they need? So, okay. Get a picture with them. Very good. Thank you. Come up here. Yeah. Over here, Caleb. Oh, we got David. Slide here.
Wait just a second. I'm the slow one, remember? Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you.
Did you allow it?
Any further or other reports? Seeing none, we'll close that portion of the agenda and go on to number 12. 12 is entitled Resolutions for Consideration. 12A reads number 2024-11-152. It's a resolution authorizing renewal of an agreement with the City of Brighton for building department services brought to us by the building department. Can I get a motion?
Support, Smith.
Motion by Helserman, support by Smith. Any questions? Need for questions? Any need for a presentation? Seeing none, I'll close discussion. We'll go to a voice vote. All those in favor of this resolution kindly say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That is 9-0 to my ears. We're on to 12B. It is number 2024-11-153. It's a resolution authorizing issuance of Livingston County sewage disposal bonds, parentheses, septage receiving station, close parentheses, series 2025. It's brought to us by the Board of Public Works. Can I get a motion?
Move the resolution, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Support, Helserman.
Motion by Domas, second by Commissioner Helserman. Does anyone wish a presentation? Any questions, any analysis? Any commissioner wish to speak? Hearing no need for discussion, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Domas,
Yes.
Commissioner Sample,
Yes.
Commissioner Nakagiri,
Yes.
Commissioner Drick,
Yes.
Commissioner Deaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Fiani,
Yes.
Commissioner Gross,
Yes.
and Commissioner Helserman.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We're on to 12, letter C. It's number 2024-11-154. It's a resolution adopting the 2025 Livingston County operating budget. Can I get a motion?
So moved, Deaton.
Second, Sample.
Moved by Deaton, seconded by Sample. Opening discussion. Any discussion? Commissioner Nakagiri.
Yeah, I wanted to elaborate on my no vote against an amendment to increase the benefits for some retirees. There are 53 beneficiaries, 35 employees, and 18 spouses of employees. I think that I sent out an email. I just want to hit some highlights on my investigation. One is, there has been discussion on that we should increase the stipend to these beneficiaries. Basically, it would be $100 a year per family. When I say family, it's either an employee or an employee and a spouse. And while it's not much money, some of the rationale, to my understanding, is that this stipend that has been, provided since about 2009 has not been adjusted for inflation. But in my investigation, while it is true the stipend, it has not been adjusted for inflation, the retirees' pensions have been adjusted for inflation. There is a COLA on the pensions of 2.5% per year, a COLA that is automatically applied pursuant to a resolution that was passed back in 2009. Further, now, Livingston County, it doesn't have anything to do with this, but the Social Security, there's a cost of living adjustment on Social Security. So I don't think it's fair to say that the beneficiaries haven't benefited from cost of living. In fact, the cost of living payment that's given to the retirees is the primary reason why our pension plan is still almost $40 million unfunded. And that's from analysis that myself and former Commissioner Zajac had done when we really delved into the why we have a pension deficit. So I am still opposed. I am opposed. And the last part I want to mention is that I've always been opposed to government providing benefits to people that are, I'll say, friends of government. And these people are, former employees. They're connected to government. I don't think it's right, and I think it's actually morally wrong to provide this little benefit for people when average taxpayers are not eligible for it. I am never been a fan of taking from the average taxpayer and giving it to, I'll say, a friends of government. And for that reason, like I said, I'm still opposed, and I am opposed enough. I'm going to vote against the budget. Thank you.
Any other comment or discussion about the operating budget? I'm going to make a motion to amend that portion of the budget that has to do with our public defender. I've had conversations with her. She agrees. The budget must conform to the new lease that's in effect, and the new lease rent is $72,400 for the year 2025, not the number that was in the printed budget. So I'm making a motion to amend and accurately reflect $72,400 as the year 2025 rent for the public defender. I'm looking for a second.
Commissioner, is that lower?
It's lower.
Have a second?
Any comment? Any need to hear from the public defender? Any questions for me? Commissioner Gross.
How much money is this gonna save us in a year?
Goes from $122,376 in 1 year down to $72,400. So I'm looking
Give or
at
take 50,000.
50K.
Thank you.
Any other comment, question, analysis?
If we didn't change the budget, it doesn't mean that she would spend more money, right? Or would this be 30,000 more in her spending? She would able to move the money to someplace else? Is that?
Cindy, what do you think? Nathan, what do you think?
You would have to get approval from the state to move it to another line item.
That's the state portion of the budget.
Does that help?
Oh, okay, yeah, so we'd have to have another vote for her to spend the extra 30,000. That's what you're saying.
She would have to get it approved by the state first and then.
I think it's 50. 50,000. Any other comment, question, analysis? Should we do roll call vote because it's under the budget?
This can be a voice
Requires
vote.
roll
We
call
will be
anyway.
roll calling the ultimate
Amendment.
approval of the budget. That will be a roll call, but this could be.
So I can do a voice vote on the
Mhm,
amendment.
Correct.
Any further comment or question before we go to a voice vote on the amendment? Very good then. All those in favor of the amendment to reduce it to be accurate with the lease, kindly say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I'm hearing 9-0 to accept the amendment. Now with an amendment involved, we have to vote on the amended budget, and that's roll call, unless anybody wants to make any further comment or discussion about the operating budget. Seeing none, would you proceed with roll call on the amended? Thank you.
Commissioner Deaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Fiani,
Yes.
Commissioner Gross,
Yes.
Commissioner Helserman,
Yes.
Commissioner Domas,
Yes.
Commissioner Sample,
Yes.
Commissioner Nakagiri,
No.
and Commissioner Drick.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. We're on to 12, letter D on the amended, or excuse me, the revised agenda. It's number 2024-11-155. It's a resolution authorizing the purchase of a leased sheriff patrol vehicle for transfer to MMRMA salvage buyer car pool. The author is Greg Kellogg. Can I get a motion?
Move the resolution, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Support, Smith.
Motion by Domas, support by Smith. Any need for presentation? Any questions? Any analysis, objections, discussion? Seeing none, would you please perform a roll call vote?
Commissioner Domas,
Yes.
Commissioner Sample,
Yes.
Commissioner Nakagiri,
Yes.
Commissioner Drick,
Yes.
Commissioner Deaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Fiani,
Yes.
Commissioner Gross,
Yes.
Commissioner Helserman.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We're on to 11E. It's number 2024-11-156. It's a resolution authorizing a capital lease for a replacement patrol vehicle for the Sheriff Field Services Division, brought to us by Carpool, author Greg Kellogg. May I get a motion, please?
So move Gross.
Thank you.
Support.
Helserman.
I hear support by Helserman and Deaton, so we'll mark that down as Commissioner Helserman, as he's the best looking. Will. Any discussion besides the comment I just
I will hold
made?
that against.
I would like to amend that because I'm not sure he is.
Any discussion? I'll close discussion. We'll go to a roll call kindly.
Commissioner Gross,
Yes.
Commissioner Helserman,
Yes.
Commissioner Domas.
Yes.
Commissioner Sample,
Yes.
Commissioner Nakagiri.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreck,
Yes.
Commissioner Deaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
and Commissioner Fiani.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Mhm.
Item number 13 under our agenda is called Accounts Payable Reports. 13A reads claims dated November 25, 2024. 13B reads payables dated November 1 through November 15, 2024. May I get a motion on both A and B?
So move Deaton to pay A and B.
Thank you.
Support Gross for both items.
Motion by Deaton and Gross. We'll go to a voice vote. All those in favor kindly say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it's a voice vote of 9-0, 13A and B pass. We're now item number 14, call to the public number 2. The difference in the end of the meeting is this is a 2-minute time limit. If anybody wishes to share their wisdom. Madam Clerk, have you any cards?
I have one card, Chuck Wright, Handy Township.
Chuck Wright, come on up. When you're seated and comfortable and there are working microphone, you may begin.
Hi, at the first call to the public, someone mentioned that there's issues with the planning department. You gentlemen probably don't have direct authority over the planning department. What I think you should do is go back to the minutes and find out when the issue in question came up, find out who voted that way, and keep that in the back of your mind next time there's appointments to the planning commission. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other cards?
I didn't do a card, but if you want me to, I'll run down and do a card, or we can skip the formality.
The chair recognizes Commissioner Nakagiri for call to the public.
Thank you. I wanted to comment on the this accessory dwelling unit. I see this as a issue that the Board of Commissioners ought to get involved with. If we in fact are, promoting ADUs, I see that as a significant policy, endeavor that we ought to chime in on. So I think that the issue that troubles me the most of the reasons brought forth by the first person to call the public is that when you buy a house in a residential area, single-family homes, that's your expectation. That's what the government is telling you. It's zoned for single-family homes, and now they want to change it. And I think that needs more investigation before we, as the Board of Commissioners, put our stamp of approval on this, what I'm going to call policy change. So it's something that I'll be looking into in the future. Thank you.
Dan Wolahan, Handy Township.
Sir, when you're seated and comfortable and there are working microphone, you may begin.
All right, thank you, Dan Wallahan. I wasn't planning on speaking tonight, but with the topic that came up, I think the lesson here is we all need to look at our local zoning boards and our planning departments, because I found it interesting when I heard Sharon speak today. That's Howell Township there, and it's the same place. You have I'll just say a controversial development going on off Henderson Road. And the big question is, what kind of communities do we want to live in? And I think we all need to be the best Livingston County we can be. And this is a place with rural character. And my own opinions, I think we need to keep Livingston County a mostly rural place to live. Thank you.
I have no further cards.
Thank you.
Mhm.
KB, is there anybody on Zoom that you see?
No, Commissioner, there's not.
Thank you, Zarina. Our call to the public is over. Commissioner Fiani. I don't have a lot on my mind. Go ahead.
So we seem to be on record setting pace, so of course I'm gonna jinx us. I'm actually very interested. I was not familiar with what was mentioned as a recommendation from our plan department. If the board would permit, do we happen to have any representation online from our planning department where we could just confirm or see if this was submitted by the county?
Don't see anybody.
I don't see anybody.
We have somebody from the Howell Township Planning Committee here.
So I was more interested in somebody from the county, but I mean, I don't have an issue with, yeah.
He is.
Oh.
Yes, Rob is.
Oh, Rob.
They passed the budget.
Oh, yeah.
That's the budget. They, they listened to him
Yeah.
and, and then they passed it. And the rental on not the prosecutor, the what do you call it? What's her name? Not the prosecuting attorney, the other attorney. Yeah. $72,000 a year for a rental unit. And that was, her office space that they're renting, $72,000. Mm-hmm. Just a drop in the bucket. It was 120, but they got 50,000 knocked out.
Oh,
Now
I didn't think so.
I think that's a separate topic.
Bargain at 72,000.
Hey, Rob.
Rob.
You're live.
Hey, Rob, can you hear me?
He's muted.
Oh, he's muted, so. Yeah, we were wondering about the ADUs.
One more time, Nick. Give him one more time.
So Rob, I was inquiring about the ADUs in how pertaining to Howell Township. Howell Township, we were told that the plan department or plan commission from Howell Township said it was a recommendation of the county planning team to support the ADU ADUs in Howell Township. Are you familiar with that topic?
Commissioner Gross.
Mr. Chair, I would suggest that we try to schedule a meeting with Scott Barb, who's the director of our planning department, and see if we can't get to the bottom of this.
Thank you. Any further comment or
I was gonna
question? Are you
I was just
unmuted?
gonna,
Rob, go ahead and talk.
He's muted now. There we go.
I was just gonna follow up and say, nothing has come before our planning commission to our knowledge. So we are gonna follow up on this tomorrow morning, bright and early.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Rob Spalding is on the Howell.
I'm the Robert Spalding, I'm the vice chair of the Howell Planning Commission. And we also have a newly elected township trustee, Tim Bowl, in the audience, who has served as a citizen on the planning commission. For the last 3 or 4 months, the planning commission was tasked by our township board to evaluate language for ADUs. So we have been working on that it's been 4 meetings. Yeah, so we've had drafts. We have not definitively voted on anything. The last meeting or 2 meetings ago, there was some direction to have include detached as part of the accessory dwelling units. Me personally, I had an objection to it being detached, but we had no action or no recommendation to the township board as of yet.
So it's still at the committee level.
It's still at the planning commission. We were tasked to come up with something. So, ultimately what we do would be to recommend something or nothing. And then the township board would, they are the final say in adopting any ordinances. And I don't think anything from the planning commission here at the county. Was there a recommendation? I don't recall anything.
There was a model ordinance.
Yeah, there was a model ordinance, but I don't know if it was a recommendation. I think it was just the planning commission did some homework on these and provided it to planning commissions. That's my recollection. So
When's your next meeting?
our next meeting is, should be the third Tuesday of December. But I could get back with you on that. We've switched because of the holidays, so.
That satisfies my questions. Anybody else have questions? Comment?
Just a quick
Thoughts?
comment.
Go ahead,
Comment, Mr.
Commissioner
Chairman.
Deaton, go ahead.
Rob, thank you for that. I just
Yep.
want everybody to know that, the commissioners get asked a lot of questions about this. And our planning department, I meet with them pretty regularly. And what they do is what Rob just said, they provide guidance. So you need to be involved at your township levels. We have 16 townships and you find out the one you're in and go to their meetings and get involved in the planning and zoning. And how many times I've said this and, we end up having a lot of issues down the road because people do not show up. So we'll do our best, but I'm asking you, please go to your township meetings. Thank you, Chairman.
Welcome. Any other comment, question? Non-agenda item? We're on to number 15. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So move, Helserman.
Support Deaton.
Moved by Helserman, support by Deaton. All those in favor kindly say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 9-0, we are adjourned.